4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much. Welcome along to the preview show. And for those of you that were expecting Brad, he's having to work tonight. So you've got the good-looking one, I think. Anyway, it's nothing to do with the fact that we're playing Coventry tomorrow, he assures me. But let's welcome along Jay. Welcome along, sir. Twice this season. Last time we spoke to you, it was probably a little bit more of an even playing field. You're doing a Leicester.
We're doing Leicester, but nice wobbly time, a bit nervy, a bit excited. But hopefully we do a Leicester and come out the back end of it all with a nice positive title in sort of April, May time.
I mean, you must be sort of, because we started off reasonably well because we were sort of up there in the top 10. I mean, are you looking at this and looking at Leicester or looking down on Leicester, literally thinking, come on, just get a points deduction, get further back down that table?
I do. Honestly, it's as bad as it sounds. I feel a bit sorry for you guys in that sense. We spoke about this last time as well, I'm sure,
yes.
Where these things need to be wrapped up before a season starts. Like, again, preparation for a club must be impossible to get players in when you've got this looming over you. And it's the same thing in January as well. Who wants to come to Leicester? If you get a 6-point deduction, brilliant. If you get 12-point deduction, you're in a relegation scrap, and it can change morale. Obviously, a little bit of toxicity around the fan base at the moment when you go to matches with the process and stuff. But that can make it a hell of a lot worse. Like, it's not fair on, with all due respect, the fans are the last thing on these authority minds end of the day. So it should have been done ages ago, to honestly. But again, I just think, obviously, even though both clubs are going through a bit of a rough patch of form at the moment, obviously Leicester longer than Coventry, I just think I wouldn't classify this as a derby. Probably a little bit too far for me, but I think it's a good rivalry. In these sort of matches, it's a bit of a level playing field, I find. So I'm super confident that we'll get a result, but also crapping myself as well at the same time, because it's Leicester. You got some, believe it or not, you've got some talented players in your squad.
I wish you'd go in and tell them who they are. I think at the moment they are in a bit of self-disbelief. But yeah, look, we've both been through bad times. Well, we've been out of business twice. You've obviously been right down there, losing your stadium and everything. And it's good to see us both back. I remember, I don't know if I said this last time, I used to work in Burnley, and I worked for a place just outside. There was one Leicester fan, which was me, and there was one Coventry fan. And there's a bit of rivalry between us because obviously they are local clubs. And we always used to have a bet on every game. It's like 2 games a year, because at that point, I think we were both like permanent fixtures in the second tier. And we used to, nothing big, we used to have a £1 bet. And that is my faith in Leicester actually being able to win. But we did win most of those games, in fairness.
If you few pennies up in that bet, to be honest with you, you absolutely mugged him off.
Yeah, each time I'm thinking maybe I should increase it to like a 5 or a 10. and then but it's just supporting Leicester. You just don't know what the hell they're going to do. But look, again, was it about the 5th or 6th game in when we played you? It was quite early on.
Very early on, yeah.
Yeah, and you obviously hadn't had Frank Long at the time. And you look at, Frank's the butt of a lot of jokes, let's be honest with you, as is Wayne Rooney, as is, what's he called from Liverpool, Gerrard, and all of those. And, if Brad was on here, and you've got lucky, because he hates ex-players going straight into decent manager's job. But Frank, when he came in, well, he started off okay, and he's gone obviously on a fantastic run up until recently. I know you were quite happy, I believe, with him then. How are you with him now? Are you still happy? Or like you say, because you are just hitting that little bit of a bump, aren't you?
Yeah, there's reasons for that bump, I would say, not to make excuses. There's been illness in the camp, and it looks like that's sort of lingered for quite a while. We've got a bit of a thin squad anyway. So, again, I've said we play with wingers. He likes his 4-3-3 or 4-1-2, whatever you want to sort of call it. Fundamentally, 4-3-3 with wingers. In the last, since he's been our manager for just over a year now, we've only got 2 wingers in the whole squad, like natural wingers. So we've obviously added a little bit with some loans last week, which is going to be very, very helpful for him. But he did a fantastic job on and off the pitch. Again, I haven't seen Coventry City play. Again, I've been supporting Coventry since the early 90s, Peter and Love and all those sort of players. I've never seen Coventry be playing like this at all. We signed Matt Grimes just shy of a year ago now. And he's the one that sort of fundamentally changed how we play and sort of dictate games. We control games. If you want to control games, we'll give possession away and sort of counter. There's loads of different ways. We've got wing play. We'll go through the middle. We'll long throw. There's so many different ways that we'll sort of play, and it's down to him and the coaches. So we've got Joe Edwards, Chris Jones as well. So 2 very, very highly regarded coaches. Jones was with the England setup not so long ago. Edwards was a assistant manager at Chelsea when they won the Champions League. He was Lampard's assistant manager as well. Obviously coached at Millwall for a very short period of time. So 2 very, very good coaches. And it just seems like they've just raised the level. Everything just gone up on and off the pitch. And that's sort of also down with that owner as well. So it just looks like everything that level has gone up, and that sort of belief. Frank Lampard's a winner at the end of the day. You say what you like about him. He's got a stellar football career, and you don't play football for 20-odd years, winning trophy after trophy after trophy by being a loser. He's got a winning mentality, and it seems to be blending and sort of leaking over to our players as well, where they've got the sort of belief that they're going to win games. And there's been plenty of games that we probably haven't deserved to win, but we've got over the line as well.
Yeah, and I think in fairness, I mean, you couldn't put that argument that you've just said about Rooney. He won a load of trophies and was absolutely shite as a manager. In fact, his brother, who's not even in the Football League, can beat Crystal Palace. But and well done to them, by the way. So yeah, I mean, this is the question, though, isn't it? Because we've seen sometimes how managers can be so good in the Championship, and then not so good, obviously, when they get promoted. Obviously, the example at the moment is Scott Parker at Burnley.
Yeah,
I mean, I can remember. I lived there for 20-odd years, and I've got a Burnley mate, and I said to him when he appointed Scott Parker, I said, "Thanks very much, mate, because you've taken one for the whole league." And then they'd lost only to like 2 or 3 games in the whole of last season, and flip that over to this season, and they've only probably won 2 or 3 games under the same manager. Is that a worry for you with Frank Lampard?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I also do feel Enzo's a perfect example, actually, with you guys. Obviously, he did fantastic with you when you won the title. Went over to Chelsea, did a good job at Chelsea as well. Obviously, he's a bit hamstrung with what he can and can't do, but he's done very well there, I think. I also think Lampard did a very good job at Chelsea. He was under Chandler.
He did that one season, yeah.
Gone to 4th and stuff. So, and then he went to Everton, and they were in the relegation scrap. So it's to do with the squad as well. Again, you look at teams like Sunderland who invested heavily. I think you've got teams that invested heavily, like Ipswich the previous year, but they went for the Championship Super Team, which I don't think is ever a good idea, and probably not paying dividends for them now as well, as much as they probably would have liked, because I'm sure they thought they'd be cruising to the title at the moment.
I did, to be honest with you. Yeah,
They may still come good, but I think they'll probably think they would have been in a better position. But yeah, you've got to sort of back the manager. I think if we do go up, you've got to back him and sort of give him what he wants within reason, within that sort of budget. End of the day, but he's not perfect. There are times when he sort of makes subs late, or we just does like changes and stuff. Where obviously us fans know more than what he knows as well. But yeah, he's a good, solid manager. Really enjoying the football that we're playing at the moment. I say this last month has been a bit leggy. You can tell the players are a bit tired and all that sort of stuff. But I say a lot of teams have this little blip around this sort of period of time, and then hopefully as of this week, we'll get back to winning ways again.
Well, I hope you don't, but it's right, because obviously we had that blip where we were 17 points clear, and then it slowly got clawed back. I think sometimes as well, and I mean, if I look at you now, you are 6 points clear. That I think has come down a little bit. But when you have that sort of a gap, I certainly, as a fan, and I think it might be for the players as well. So we're 17 points clear. You lose one. Well, we're still 14 points clear. Not nothing to worry about. We don't have to worry. And then the second one comes along, you lose that, and then suddenly you're sort of 11 points clear. And then it suddenly starts on because once you get into one of those runs, it's damn hard to get out of it, isn't it?
And then the worst thing when the other fans, you're going to bottle the league, it's going to be the biggest bottle ever, and you're just sitting there like, oh no, please, I can't. I said the other day, I don't really mind about winning the title. Obviously, the title's an added bonus, I think, at the moment. It's just we're 8 points ahead of third at the moment. Obviously, appreciate Ipswich got a game in hand as well, but that's the main target is to sort of be in that, at least that second position. But again, I want to win the title. Just so I've bookmarked a few little comments and stuff on X. Hopefully in May, and then come back to them as well. To be honest, I'll probably delete them. But I just want to sort of just get over the line. Just I don't like. Normally, Coventry are quite good. We start off quite slow, and then we sort of rise. We have this sort of miraculous form from November onwards. And do really well. I like that. That's more exciting. This is nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. Everyone's sort of trying to gun you down from the top of the table. It's horrible.
Yeah. Clibbo says there, the trouble is most English managers are from promoted clubs and are on a hiding to nothing in the Prem. They always end up with no budget. I think that's just the case of promoted teams a lot of the time. And we need energy against Coventry. Please, no Ricky P or AU. Clibbo and me don't always agree, but I have to say on that one, 100% we are singing from the same hymn sheet. Before we look at sort of some of the stats and what have you, I know we were talking just before we came live, but looking at where you are in the league, and we'll come into your last 6 games in a minute, but even with that form, you're still, like I say, 6 points clear at the top. Leicester, we win 1, draw 2, lose 1, win 1, draw 2, lose 1. It's like a dance number. I mean, are you going into this game? This must be as confident as any game you can go into.
Yes and no. As I said earlier, it's a big, like, as much as people say, it's for Leicester, just another game for us, and sort of try and mug us off a little bit. At the end of the day, the players will be fully aware of the rivalry. They'll know that Leicester will not want to lose to Coventry. Coventry players will know that Coventry, they won't lose to Leicester. So there'll be that little bit of spark in the game. And the home game I thought was quite timid when we played last time. It felt like nobody really wanted to lose that match rather than anybody wanted to win it. Where the previous, obviously not the previous season before that, when you were back in the Championship, I thought both games had a little bit of spice, especially the game at the CBS had a bit of spice in that game as well. So
just, I think, in the second game, that you were celebrating like you won the FA Cup, but that's how it should be with a little rivalry.
The hate on X where you get the same generic 007 sort of tweets and celebration, please come out. So at the end of the day, people work hard all week and they go to the football and they want to see their team win. It's sort of, if you lose, it gets your mood down. If you win, go and celebrate it how you want to celebrate it. Obviously, sometimes it's a bit cringy, but at the end of the day, if you win, especially for Leicester, you don't get many wins these days. So
hang on. Just take that knife out my back.
Yeah,
you know.
I joke obviously as well, but
obviously, yeah. But that's what it should be about, football banter. And if we, had won that, we would have done the same. But you just don't like it being done to you when you lose.
Of course, yeah, and I say these generic little accounts on X will basically pop up with the same stuff. This is cringe, that's cringe, and all this sort of stuff. Like if you win a game, go and bloody celebrate. If you win on Saturday, go and bloody celebrate, enjoy it. Just don't tweet me. That's it.
I might do. Well, just to make myself feel happy, because at the moment I've got nothing to be happy about looking at this game. Coventry have won just one of their past 9 league games against Leicester. You've drawn 5 and lost 3. Your sole victory came in the 23-24 season when you beat us 3-1. Which we're talking about. Leicester have won just one of their past 8 away games against Coventry, though. Drawn 5, lost 2. But I'm looking at, like I say, the run at the moment, because the one thing that we could always, when we did the prediction league, the one thing we could always do is if I put the Coventry game, because we picked 6 games for Super 6, if I put the Coventry game in, somebody was guaranteed to get at least a point, because we'd all put Coventry down. And it was the shortest odds, for anything for us. But like I say, suddenly it's like, wow, you are human. I mean, yes. In your last 6, you've won 2, drawn 2, lost 2.
Yeah. Basically, so I'm just going to get the games up here myself as well. In those games, our toughest period, when the fixture list came out, December was a horrible fixture list for us, partly because we had Ipswich twice, we had Southampton away, we had Preston North End away, which I don't think we've won in like over 100 years at Preston, and we played them enough to that being an issue as well. Charlton away, it's troublesome. Birmingham away as well. Obviously, they've got a fantastic home record, and again, it's a bit of a rivalry match, but I would say out of all those games, the only game that we actually looked bad in was Ipswich at home. They battered us. Nice. I can't really say anything about it. They deserved that win. The home game, the away game when we lost 3-0 right at the beginning of December, I said that's not a 3-0 game. That result flattered them, that 3-0 result. The 2-0 loss for us at home, that result flattered us massively. We should have lost that 3-4-0. Like Carl Rushworth made some fantastic saves in that game. Preston away, we played well in the first half. They got players sent off, and then they somehow got a goal in the second half. Southampton away, we were cruising that game in the first half. We were 1-0 up. It should be more. And then our player stupidly got sent off after 90 seconds, and then it was sort of Diggy Hills in. Swansea at home, bit of a crappy game, won that 1-0. Ipswich, as I mentioned, lost that 2-0. Charlton away, we drew 0-0, and then Birmingham lost 3-2. They had 3 shots, I think, or 4 shots on target, scored 3 goals. We should have scored more goals. It's one of those sort of games. So we haven't been playing badly, but we haven't been playing with the same sort of energy, intensity that we were October, November sort of time as well. Partly, I would imagine, just due to the size of our squad. It's quite thin, but we have added 2 young players to hopefully give us a bit of energy and a little bit of a boost. And also, I think this game's come at a good time for us because our Birmingham loss was 2 weeks ago. So effectively, the minutes been managed quite well in that cup game last weekend as well. So hopefully the players that needed a rest got a good rest.
I hate to say it, but there are a lot of games at this time of year. It is ridiculous. I have a week off on holiday and I think I missed 3 or 4 games. It is stupid. But I think it's really hard to sort of say we played too many games. And we do. We know we do. But then, as soon as the season ends, half the teams go on the other side of the world to talk to make money. Sorry.
Irony of football, hey?
Definitely. There's a lot of irony in football, let's be honest with you. But I mean, and I look at our sort of last 5. We have won 2, lost 3, and that's kind of sums our form up, And how did you get on? I don't remember. How did you get on in the cup?
We played Stoke away, lost 1-0.
Right.
First half again, Stoke should have been 2-3 up. Again, we made 8 changes. It is what it is. Second half we played much better, and then we lost to a bit of a worldy goal. But again, most Cov fans, you never want to lose a match. But I thought it was a good way to go out. Lost to 1-0 to a cracking goal.
I mean, and I wasn't asking that for sort of, to score points off you or anything. I honestly couldn't remember, but we'll try and win the cup for you. You played Stoke, who obviously, you had the Mark Robbins connection and everything.
Yeah.
We played Cheltenham Town, and there's a manager connection there, but not quite as strong as yours. And we won 2-0. We made 8 changes as well, and we brought a lot of the young players in, which he probably won't do for this game, because obviously this game is going to be a lot harder than Cheltenham away. And we won 2-0, but again, everybody was saying, "Oh, we should have put 4 or 5 and what have you." But it was a potential banana skin.
Always,
and I'd have been happy to come out of like a 1-0 win we scored in the last minute of extra time, and I'm sure Palace fans would have loved that as well. But that's the FA Cup for you, isn't it?
Those away games at those smaller clubs, they're always banana skins. It is effectively their. I hate this terminology, but it's their cup final. They're going to be bang up for it, and they're going to fight for every ball and that second ball as well. But look, at the end of the day, 2-0 away from home, no matter who you play, it's a good result. The biggest shock is Billy Daka scored. I was amazed at that.
Oh, you had to mention Daka, the
striker,
the acrobat in his spare time, eh? But yes, he's back, and I think, look, we've got problems at two ends. We're not too bad in the middle of the field most of the time. At the back, the last, like I said before we came live, the last clean sheet we kept was when we played you.
It's crazy.
It is, and we've only got 1 clean sheet away from home. You've got 5 at home, 42% of your home games, and thank you very much, Footy Stats. But 42% of your home games you've kept a clean sheet. In our away games, 8% of our away games we've kept a clean sheet. So it's not going to be 0-0. I think we can say this. You're definitely going to get a goal.
It's going to be a 0-0 now after you said that. But
I'll take that.
A lot of our performances, Carl Rushworth has saved us numerous times against Swansea. The last clean sheet we got, they missed a sitter towards the end of the game. Against Bristol, the game before that, he made a absolutely brilliant save in injury time to save us as well. So yeah, we've got a couple of. I think we've got 9 in total, which is the highest. I'm just looking through the fixtures now. Blackburn again. We won 2-0. They could have easily scored. They did carve us up. Again, not to tell you all our secrets, but we score a lot of goals. So our goals are sort of spread out all over the place, which is fantastic for us. Our biggest problem is we concede a lot of chances. We don't concede a lot of goals, but we concede a lot of chances. And that fundamentally is basically because our centre-backs play very high up. So they almost play on the halfway line, if not, best case scenario, 10 yards in their own half. Our fullbacks bomb. Again, one of the joys of attacking is we put a lot of pressure on. So our fullbacks are really high up. So there's a lot of space in the wing area. So a lot of teams basically just ping a ball diagonally. And this is my concern playing Leicester, because I think Jordan James has been your best player all season for what I've seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Yeah.
Apart from that, is obviously Fatou, never say his name. Abdul
Mavididi.
Yeah, off it a little bit this season, but again, he's a big threat as well. So that is going to be your biggest challenge.
Watch him if he gets the ball on the halfway line.
Yes,
do watch him. And know what you're saying. And the problem we have is that we do rely very much on the wingers. Probably say 90% of our attacking play goes down one side of the wing or two. And Mavididi, stroke Monga, because we've got a young kid that can come in, although he's not particularly on good form at the moment, and Fatou. But you probably would get, if you get the breakaway, they're not that good at getting back to help out the defence.
This is what I think the game's going to be won in that area. If you're brave enough, if your attackers stay high and sort of capitalise on that space, good chance you're going to get goals. If we keep the possession, I always find with Coventry in the first sort of 5-10 minutes, you're going to tell what sort of team's going to sort of come out and how we're going to play. Because I think there's different ways that we tend to play. At home, it's normally on the front foot and sort of keep the press high into your half. In that case, if we play like that, then we'll be putting the pressure on. And again, with our wingers again got a good rest last week. We've got options now as well. So if Luke Thomas comes back in, or Chowdhury's playing at fullback, I think he's good player, but at fullback, I'm not sort of.
Please don't do that to me. Sorry.
I think if our wingers will sort of batter them down a little bit, and then after about 70 minutes, we'll bring on Romain Esse or Yang to come on. So that's just young, pure energy, a bit of chaos coming on as well, which will. So the fullbacks will be thinking, oh bloody god, got another 20-30 minutes of this as well. So that's my hope. But I think that wing / fullback area for us is where the game's going to be won and lost. Not in the centre midfield. It's going to be those areas if you can sort of capitalise on that.
I would agree with you, because as good as we are going forward with Mavididi and Fatawu, like I say, nothing coming back, and it does leave, as Clibo said earlier, Ricky P at right back, who his legs have gone, to be honest with you. Bless him. He leaves at the end of the season. His contract expires. He's been one of our best players, but there has to come a point when you're going to look at these players and say, go off and retire, mate.
I've always liked Pereira. I thought he's a good player, but he doesn't play as often as I would have thought.
That's his problem. He's injury prone. He had a very bad injury a couple of seasons ago, and since then, whenever he comes back, he seems to always gets injured again. So if we've got, because we're playing like Wrexham on Tuesday, he can't play 2 games in a week. Now, he's your captain, for God's sake, and you can't play him twice in a week. But the argument is that when the one game he does play, he could be one of our better players. Luke Thomas on the left winger, he's kind of Marmite. Half the fans love him, half the fans hate him, and probably it's getting more towards the hate at the moment. We just like to pick on a player. Interesting what you said about the youngsters coming on, though, is that we played 8 of those youngsters, 8 changes in the 7, because it was Berkovic in goal, against Cheltenham. And we've been screaming to sort of see them play. Now, you can't all introduce them all at one go in a league match, but he hasn't been introducing them at all, or a lot of them at all, during the season. We've got a striker in Jake Evans. He went with the under whatever it was to Qatar with England for the World Cup. He hasn't got on the pitch this season, and he only just managed to get on the. I mean, this is how bad it was against Cheltenham Town, 2-0 up, with about 20 minutes to go, I think it was, and the manager decides to take Daka off. Fair enough. And so you think, bring Jake Evans on, young, fast, etc. No, he brings Jordan Ayew on. It's almost like his fear of losing out. I mean, you're 2-0 up with that. What the hell have you got to lose?
The ironic thing is, Jeremy Monga plays quite often for you. He starts a few games, which I think at 16 is a big ask for. Leicester City is a big team, and that's a lot of pressure for a young 16-year-old. And obviously Page as well. He started a few games also.
Yeah, Page and Monga and Thomas, Silko Thomas, there's another Thomas we've got. Are all good. We've got Nelson in defence. Thing with Monga is he did have about 5 weeks where he wasn't picked at all, didn't get on the pitch. Wasn't even on the subs bench. So whether that was giving him a break, because you've got to think he's still got 2 years of school and exams and everything. So unless he's doing his homework, in the dressing room at half time.
Weekends he couldn't come out and play.
Yeah, but exactly. But like we were saying about Lampard earlier, we got rid of Rude, as you know, at the start of the season. We got Marty in. And as they all do, they speak a very good game. Yeah, I want to develop the youth. The side I had at the QPR was the youngest in the league, blah, blah, blah. And then you don't see him play the youth. Now, some people would say, well, he's got to play certain players to put them in the market for them to sort of, be sold. I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. I don't think any manager would do that. He'd pick the team that's best to go on the pitch.
Also, I would say, is he maybe a bit scared to play them as well? His job's on the line, but nearly every week he wins one game, loses a couple, and then he on the verge of getting sacked, then he wins a game. Like, does he trust the youth?
Well, you'd think I can see what you're saying, but it's like Ruud van Nistelrooy last season. 17 games he went, losing every single one. And you can bet every time the team was the same, the formation was the same. At some point, you've got to say, this isn't working. So what does I think I said this in the last show, what does Marty do when he comes in? He goes to the same formation with that Ruud went, and virtually the same players, but we've sold the best of what we had. So I don't. And let me tell you that we played Sheffield United on the 1st of January, and we also played them in December. It was one of those quick turnaround games. In December, when we played them at our place, we were 3-0 down at half time.
I remember, yes, yeah.
Yeah. We went out with 4-2-3-1. They came at us with 4-4-2. At half time, he actually changed it to 3-5-2, and we got 2 goals back. In fact, Chris Wilder was really sweating on the touchline. He was having to make changes that I don't think he would normally. So we then go to Sheffield on the 1st of January. Sheffield United put out a 4-4-2. Now, you would think any manager worth his salt that had any idea about managing or coaching a club would think 4-2-3-1 didn't work last time. We got stuffed by them. No, not Marty. He goes out with 4-2-3-1. Yeah, and we lost 3-1.
Does my head in these days? The managers stick to their philosophy. Absolutely, you have to stick to their philosophy, and that's it. So there's no sort of flexibility, and it's almost like a badge of shame that you changed it. I'm like, just be like change. Like again, one thing about Lampard, the only sort of critique is maybe his subs sometimes is a bit same-ish. So, again, I say our options aren't vast. We don't have like tons and tons of attacking options. So I sort of semi-get it. But every now and then we think maybe put Hadji Wright and Ellison's up top to just change things up a little bit when we need to get a goal. But he'll just change one for the other, and that's it. And they don't do anything.
Well, no, exactly the same as well. Like on that game against Sheffield United, you think, brilliant, he's made some substitutions at half-time, and he doesn't normally do that. And he changed his formation, and we won the second half 2-0. But 9 times out of 10, his substitutions are like for like. So he'll take, in fact, Clibbo, who was in today, just sent me a lovely clip from Alex Ferguson being interviewed. And he says, when you're 1-0 down with 20 minutes to go for it. To bring your attackers on and just go for it. And, he'll make a defensive substitution. I think he'll be there till the end of the season. I'm not sure whether he'll be with us after that. Depends on if we ever get this new technical director. At the moment, everybody poo-pooed because, I was saying when Chris Wilder was available, it might be a good shout to go for Chris Wilder. Everybody was he's a dinosaur. He plays 4-4-2. He doesn't do that. And I did a joke thing where, I did him in a shirt, the old bullseye. Here's what you could have won. Here's what you could have had. Yeah. We interviewed him, but no, we can't have him. But I tell you what, he's done better at Sheffield United since he took over.
I'm not a massive fan of Wilder just because of his personality, but you got to take your hat off. Well, you literally can't take your hat off to him, but he wins matches. He's a winner at this level, and he always instills that us against them kind of mentality, which I think is invaluable in football. Us against them, you're going to win things just because. You just got that drive behind it, constant drive. So, in hindsight, probably one you should have gone down. But again, I live very close. I'm literally around the corner I'm in London myself, so I'm very close to Loftus Road.
You are. I remember you saying yes.
Yeah, I pop into the QPR games every now and then if there's any spare tickets and stuff going. So I remember Marty last year. Again, he did divide opinion from time to time. Again, a bit of a patchy sort of manager, but. it just seems extremely. When I watch with you guys, it just seems extremely slow and just I'm just not quite sure what you're doing.
You do watch alongs, and you end up you're doing sort of games on the the computer while you're watching it because it's so boring. How do you stop? Sorry,
I think you just zone out at times.
you didn't. Yeah, easily. How do you start games? Do you start games fast, or are you sort of from the reason I asked that, and I don't know sort of like say how much of Leicester you've seen. We are very good at conceding goals in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, good to know. I'll tell Frank that later
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
We tend to, especially at home, we tend to sort of dictate games and put pressure on. It's not sort of gun ho. We're going to get that goal straight away, but it's a case of our football is dictated by Matt Grimes. Whatever Matt Grimes wants to do in that next 10 minutes, that's what we're doing. And if he wants to change it in the next 10 minutes after, he will dictate what happens for us in that game. Unfortunate downside of that is teams will just double team him now and sort of get two players to sort of enter the ball close to him. They'll get players on top of him, which again he's good enough to get away from that. He's such a silky little player, but then obviously that sort of frees up the areas and stuff as well. But yeah, it's sort of it's a pressure, I would say. It's not sort of gun ho, but it's pressure, it's constant pressure. Over and over and over again. We give the ball away, we'll get it back and we'll put the pressure on, or we'll keep that pressure going and going and going. Just because we're playing so high up the pitch and there's no real sort of space. But if you get that long diagonal ball, I'd say, into that fullback area, that's how you're gonna get your yardage up the pitch effectively. It's very hard to play through us most times, especially at home. And again, a caveat that this with bar this last month. It has been a little bit more sort of open and not as good as it was in the previous months. But again, as I say, I'm hoping with this little rest we've had for 2 weeks. Matt Grimes didn't play at the weekend, which is brilliant. He plays every second, every minute of every game possible. Milan Van Ewek, our right back, he has looked absolutely shattered. He's been puking on the pitch. He's been playing through this and actually puking on the pitch for about 4 games. We scored against Southampton a couple of weeks ago. We were celebrating. All of a sudden, he turns around and just vomits. And then after the game, Frank sort of alluded that he's on the toilet as he was there. But he looked gassed. He did play 15 minutes at the end as well. But there's definitely our wingers, as I say, we've only got 2 wingers. Both of them didn't start at the weekend as well, so they got a good rest. But again, we've got wing options as well. So I'm hoping and praying that we bring that energy back. I'm hoping and praying. Rodoni got injured actually when we played you in Leicester, right? And he's come back. At the same time, Brandon Thomas Sante got injured as well, and we haven't. Is after that middle when we won that middle of game 4-2 away, if you recall. Is after that. That's when our sort of trouble started. That's when Brandon Thomas Sante got injured, and we seem to have lost that energy. Rodoni doesn't seem to be on form. Last season, I think he was the best, if not one of the best players in the league last year. And he's not shot of himself at the moment. He did play better at Stoke at the weekend. But again, it's just sort of, he's sort of hanging on to the ball for an extra second than he should be at the moment as well. So I'm hoping, it's a bit of a long-winded answer to give you here, but I'm just hoping we bring that energy back. And that's how we tend to win games, is the energy that we have.
I mean, for me, we are generally slow starters. We'll either, I mean, in one game we were 2-0 down within 5 minutes, and once we do concede, so if you can get an early goal, that would be so good in your favour because we very rarely come back, if at all, from going behind. Our heads go down. It's like, oh, here we go again. We're not sort of gung ho. Stolarczyk, who should be our number one, but he's questionable when it comes to kicking the ball out. We like to play out from the back, which is, to me, is just suicide football. You're just asking for trouble. It's like watching a game in Squid Game. You think like, oh, he's going to kick the ball. Oh God, he's giving it away, rather than just boot it upfield. But Bekovic came in at the weekend. He may start. I doubt it. I think Stolarczyk will come back. But yeah, we're just very indecisive at the back. If we do start well, and this is the other problem, we very rarely build on that momentum. We will start well. We might only have a couple of shots, and then we'll let you get the ball, run, counter attack and score. So we never normally take advantage of it. I mean, I'm just looking here. I mean, this season, I mean, you've won 15, you've only lost 4.
Yes.
We've won 10 and lost 9. I mean, your goal scoring, this is what scares me. And I know a lot of those did come in 2 games, but you scored 20 more goals than the team that's Middlesbrough that sit in second.
Yeah, but to again make you feel a little bit better, I think in December we scored 4 goals, and then I think Sheffield United were top with 18. I think it was something on those sort of lines. So we haven't scored a lot of goals recently, and most of our goals are coming from Ephraim Mason-Clark on the left. He's been really sort of dragging us through games. At times, Sims has got the odd one here and there as well. Hadji Wright massively out of form at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see which striker starts, because Frank Lampard loves Hadji Wright, but Edison's the one that's sort of getting the goals for us. But I do think, depending on the defender, I'm good at that Vals, whatever his name is, with the big hair, he's left you, because
you don't mean that gentleman in the top corner.
Him right there, yes, that's his making Monaco. I don't know how he's got a big gig at Monaco, because I was licking my
useless.
I thought if him and what's the other centre back, Vestergaard played, I would have thought Hadji Wright would have definitely started for us, just because he can run rings around them too. But obviously with Nelson, I like Nelson. I think he's a good little player. Obviously he's young, so maybe a little mistaken every now and then. And then what's the other centre back you got as well?
Coley.
He looks good as well. He again had a little mistaken every now and then. But I think if you play Nelson and Coley, you've got a better chance against both our centre backs than
those two. I mean, Wout Faes, how on earth he ever? Well, like you say, how did he get that move to Monaco? Do you know what I mean? He's the sort of player that Wrexham would go and buy. Yeah. He took Danny Ward, our awful goalkeeper, Connor Cody, our awful defender, off us. But yeah, Wout Faes. I mean, can I just say that if anybody wonders, I'm not a huge lover of Wout Faes. It became a joke that I bought that wig as a joke. Because if we ever lost, I'd come home wearing the Wout Faes wig. Of course, now he's gone. I thought you can't just put him to bed. He's gone. He's got to carry on in some form. So he is now forever immortalised in.
The wig to me, I need it. So I can do a bit more often.
I tell you what, it's bloody itchy. You're better off. Useless. Apparently they've got an option to buy. So normally I'm going to play a leave you, wish them the worst of luck, but I hope he has I wish him the best of luck, because I want him to do well, so they buy him. Vestergaard's actually back. Now, he has been out injured. Vestergaard's a bit of an anomaly for us, because he's shit and good at the same time. Yeah, to put it bluntly. We got him from Southampton. He was in the side that we put 9 past, and then we went and bought him. This is his level. The Championship is his level. Absolutely useless in the Premier League. He has got the turning speed of the Titanic, and he usually sinks as well. And if we play a high, which we do, we play quite a high up front game. If you get the ball past him, you've got. I run better than him. I'm 64 and fat, so he's But what he can do, he's got the experience of the back four. I mean, he's in his early 30s now. He can just, and a lot of the time, and I've watched him, the attack will be, you'll be attacking us, and he'll literally just stick his foot out, and that's all he does, and he takes the ball off the player. It's just little things like that. And the other thing he can do, he can kick the ball from our penalty spot and land it on your penalty spot. So if we can get Fatawu or Mavadidi up there and get them, behind your guys, that's what he can do. But I don't think he will start.
Yeah, coming back from injury, big game.
Yeah, he started against Cheltenham Town, but he did get injured. But yeah, I don't think he'll start.
Man said he's back, so you never know. But I personally think starting the younger lads will be more beneficial for you with our centre forwards and also our wingers as well. Just because they do put a lot of pressure on, and you do need, say if you're playing such a high line as well, you need that sort of turn of pace to sort of get back and recover.
And the interesting thing was when we played Cheltenham, is that I didn't realise that Leicester players realised what colour shirts they played in, because they were never able to pass the ball to one of their own players. And not just Leicester's. This is an awful league for the standard of football this season. I've watched other games, and so it's not just Leicester, but teams cannot pass the ball from player A to player B. It always goes off to player X or Y from the other team. And all these youth players are coming through, and they've played together, obviously in the under-21s and the under-18s. They've come through the academy, and they just knew where each other were. They knew what the other player was doing. They put a ball through, they'd know that somebody would run on to the end of it. And suddenly you're thinking, and guys were saying, well, yeah, but it was only Cheltenham. Yes, but you could see that cohesion. So I'm hoping there's going to be a few of those starting. Louis Page, number 10.
Lower league teams aren't no mugs, especially in the FA Cup. They're there to win, and they believe they can win as well. So, yeah, they'll stick their foot in. End of the day, they don't give a crap if you've got a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old playing on the pitch. They're gonna go and put their foot through the ball.
My worry is that Marty, like I said earlier, and you're quite right, Clibbo, youth at the back for me as well. But Vestergaard, I think, has got to be on the bench, and he can come on if, let's say, somehow, and I went to church on Sunday and we're winning 1-0 and, God's smiling down on us. It's not going to happen, but if we were and you were coming all at us, we wanted just that little bit of experience at the back, then you bring Vestergaard on. Because, he can literally, so that again is a strength of him. But I think Marty is too. I think he will go for a Coley and Nelson because those are the ones he's been going for the last 4 or 5 games, and they work well together. They are looking good together. But like I say, I think he's scared to play the youth. I think he's more. The thing about this game is he'll be more scared about losing and more worried about not conceding than actually going for the attack. For me, the best form of defence is attack. Always. If we're attacking you, then you're in your half and you're not having to go at us.
This is what we did so well at the beginning of the season. We score 1 goal, go 1-0 up. Most teams sort of sit back. We're getting number 2. We get number 2. Oh, we're getting number 3, and then we just kept going and going and going and going. And just it was steamrolling teams basically. And it's true. If you're attacking and you're doing it well, what can the other team do? They've just got to sit back and defend and maybe ping a long ball or whatever it is, and then you get the ball back and then you're back at it again.
I think if he ever does, Clibbo says there, worrying about how much we agree of late. I know, Clibbo. Well, wait till you get to the show. Clibbo's on a show with me tomorrow night, 9:00, Fox's Forum. Make sure you check it out, guys. We don't normally agree much, but we are. It is a bit worrying. But it's if he ever went to a back 3. I think if you then had Vestergaard, almost in that sweeper role, if you like, and you had a Coley one side and Nelson the other side, I would love to see that. But we've got rid of Faze. Winks is nowhere near the team at the moment. No,
he's been banished.
He has been banished, and we've all had parties and celebrated. He is the biggest shit stirrer in that squad.
I've got a party and celebrating as well with his 90 grand a week wage that you guys are paying him. So
he's not bothered. That's the thing. That's his attitude. He's not bothered. Yeah. At the start of the season, before the window was closed in the summer window, he played very few games. He'd come on for the last 20 minutes and looked pretty decent. Then when the summer transfer window shut, he was starting to be picked again, and he was playing fine. But now when the January transfer window came up, on the horizon, he started playing up to his old tricks again. And I think Marty's just had enough and then, like, basically, fuck off. You know, he's got a Spanish club allegedly interested in him. 90 grand a week. I mean, it's bloody stupid. But since he's been dropped, we signed Skip from Tottenham. And I must admit, I was wanting to get Skip to play with Winks because they'd played together at Spurs, etc. They did one game and they were bloody awful. Now that Skip's been banished, now that Winks has been banished, Skip is like redemption. He's like a new player. Nobody liked him before, and he's been like man of the match. He can play at left. He's played at left back. He's played at centre back for emergencies. He's really coming to his own now that Winks isn't playing. And then next to him, you've got James, who, like you say, is a lone player, but he's probably our best player of the season. Yeah. Those two together, I'm sorry, unless it's a sending off or an injury, you're not breaking them two up at all. You know. And then you've got the three up front now. Again, redemption. Bobby Dick-Overreed, who, when he was signed by Cooper played him on the wing. Again, you don't play somebody that old on the wing. Put him in the number 10 role, and fucking he's brilliant. Or
good, very good player, Premier League quality player.
And I didn't like him when we signed him, but he's good in that number 10 role. As is, to be honest with you, Louis Page if he comes on, and he's got to start playing these players soon. He's got to have the guts. Look, if he plays a lot of youngsters against you and you beat us 3-0 or something, yes, we'll be annoyed, depending what he does, if he tries to make changes or doesn't during the game. But it will be tempered with the fact that, well, you're top of the league. We're sort of, it's almost, if you like, it's almost like a gimme, this one, because, we put our best team out, you should technically beat us. So if we put the kids out and you beat us, so what? But at least they're getting experience.
Yeah, I want to say it's a gimme myself, but I hope you're right.
Well, you say not a gimme. I mean, looking at AI here, your last 5 games at home, like I say, you've won 4 of those. Your win probability is 57%.
I'll take it. You say that Lampard's been in the job for just over a year. I think in that period of time, so he started in late November, so obviously we're mid-January now. I think he's lost 3 games at home in that period of time. So one was against Leeds, which they battered us. I say the battered us, dominated. I think it was like 3-0 or something. One was against Burnley, where they were lucky to get the win there. We should have won that game, and somehow they nicked a goal. And then we lost to Ipswich recently as well. So 3 games, so 3 very good teams that we've lost to. So the CBS has become a bit of a fortress as well now, which is a nice little thing for us to have. And sort of going into the match, obviously the form isn't fantastic, but in that period of time, I think in 9 games, 6 have been away, 3 have been at home, I think. And I think those, we've obviously at least won 2 of them. I can't remember the third one. We lost Ipswich obviously as well. So the home form is very, very good. And even though the form isn't fantastic in general at the moment, we're still getting those results at home. The crowds are big as well now, 30,000 plus each week when we're going there, back and supporting the lads. So it'll be good.
Well, let me throw some stats at you here. Not that I'm desperate for just some good news, but if we go on the last 6 games form-wise, we are actually in 11th and you're in 13th. So we've got 9 points, you've got 8.
Both crap.
If you look at in fact, this is surprising, looking at your 10 last games, I don't know why it's giving me 10, but on your last 10 home games, you are actually 12th in the league. Wow. And on our last 5 away games, no, I can see what they've done here. Here we go. Sorry, no, the home form table. Sorry, I get that wrong. There's so many tables. On the home form table on 6 games, you are second.
Okay.
On the away form table on 6 games, we're 10th. So to me, I know football's not played on paper, But to me, everything there says this is going to be a Coventry win. And I just think that it's like saying the next round, if we get past Southampton in the cup and we draw Arsenal away, you're going to say that pretty much is going to be an Arsenal win. So why not throw the youngsters in? All this sort of thing. I don't know what you think, but a lot of people say, well, it ruins the confidence or what have you. Well, being sat on the bench and not playing a game is not giving them confidence, is it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you tell them just go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Just looking at our home form here, we played 12, won 9, drawn 2, lost 1, scored 27 goals, conceded 9 in a period of time. So that's obviously very good. You guys played 13, 4 wins, 3 draws, 6 losses, 18 goals scored, 23 conceded. So obviously you score a good amount of goals away from home, but it's the giving the goals away. That's the problem.
We are, and like I said earlier, but you mentioned earlier about your defence that you are giving the opposition lots of chances, and you are relying a lot on your keeper.
Yeah, massively. He pulled out again. Ironically, for the Birmingham game, for the third goal, he should have done much better. It's sort of near post, semi through his legs, all that sort of stuff. But you forgive him because he's absolutely saved us so many times in matches, constantly over and over again. The Coventry fans basically, we obviously want, like anyone, you want a bit more sort of quality to come in January to sort of see over the line. A few people were saying they want a centre back. There's a pod called That Cov Pod, which is a very good podcast. I'm sure your fans will love to listen to that. I put a question to them and said, do we need a new centre back? Because can our current centre backs handle the tactic that Lampard plays? And one of the guys on there, John, mentioned that obviously, they're not doing too well at the moment, but the amount of traffic they're getting at the moment is the problem. If the ball's stuck up top more, because that's one of the problems we have. Our strikers don't hold the ball up that well. If the ball stuck up that or the pitch that 50% more, that's 50% less work for them to do. Matt Grimes is a brilliant CDM for us, the dictator of our team, but there seems to be massive gaps in our midfield as well. So again, the opportunity to sort of take advantage of that as a opposition team as well. So that is allowing teams, and what you'll notice is Lampard, the way he plays, he's sort of effectively saying to our 2 defenders, "You defend. That's your job. Whatever comes your way, you got to defend." And our fullbacks will bomb backwards to try and catch up with it. And Grimes, he's not the fastest, will try and bomb back to sort of catch up and help you out a bit here. But you two have to basically save us and defend and stuff like that. But more because they're getting so much traffic. And then luckily we've got Carl Rushworth at the back, just saving us over and over and over again, making brilliant save after brilliant save. And it's quite unusual of a goalkeeper. Believe it or not, I think he's the only goalkeeper who knows how to catch a ball. The amount of shots that come in and he doesn't parry, he just catches it, or crosses that come in, catches the ball. Phenomenal.
You can't lend him to us for a week, can you?
I'm trying to convince Brighton he's crap and sell him for $1 million. I keep tweeting them every now and then, but they don't reply to me. I don't know, unfortunately.
Well, talking about us up front, Lyndon, what's he called? Lyndon
Dykes.
Lyndon Dykes. He's gone to Charlton.
Yeah, missed out on him.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I particularly didn't want him anywhere. I think when he can't even get into the Birmingham first team squad in League One,
not a good player. He's not. I'm around the corner. I used to see him at QPR, and he's basically Paxton Daka, but he can head a ball. That's about it, really. He's a Paxton Daka that can head a ball. He's not a good player, not mobile. He may like Bamford would have been a good striker for you, I feel. That sort of ilk.
I was hoping Sheffield United couldn't keep him and we could tempt him away. But you look at Leicester at the moment, and we all say it. Who'd want to come to Leicester? Yeah. There is that. And now the thing with Paxton Daka, and you've had a go at him sort of a couple of times, and I have to say I have a go at him a lot of times as well. If Paxton Daka was part of a 2 up front, he would actually probably do a lot better. Because he's got the speed. He's got the speed of Vardy. What he hasn't got is the finishing ability. And I watched him in one game, and he went to close the keeper down because the keeper had the ball. The keeper kicked it to a defender. He then closed the defender down. He then kicked it to the winger, and he went and closed the winger down.
I was just about to say this. I'm sure the Preston game, I think it was, and I said he works hard. He works hard. He just doesn't have the technical ability to kick a ball in the back of the net, unfortunately. But that's the only problem. So,
well, he was good at Salzburg in Austria, but he did have a certain Mr. Haaland up front with him. So you're bound to do well, aren't you? I think we signed the wrong striker there.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's done too well in life anyway. That other fellow.
No, I don't think. I think he's done worse than Pat.
You got the right one.
But so I don't know. Up front, it's going to be either Ayew, who is a defensive. His whole game, and the Spanish people said this to me when we bought him, that he will come on as a sub and go down, get you a free kick. He will slow the game down. He will win you free kicks, and so if you're under pressure, he can sort of just break the game up and just let everybody have a calm down, or if he'll get you a free kick in a dangerous place. But you can't play the whole 90 minutes like that.
Yeah.
The other option, as I say, is Daka, who, like we said, couldn't score in the proverbial brothel. Jake Evans, who won't start, unfortunately. I wish he would. I really do wish he would. Which is why we're so pleased that we're getting goals from Jordan James, who's coming into the box late because he's the box-to-box midfielder, and he'll come up from that number 6 position late on and score some good goals. Mavididi, he started to be a bit better now because he was very selfish before, and he likes to do the step overs. I think he thinks he's on Strictly Come Fucking Dancing rather than playing football. He'll do that, but he's getting a lot better with his game, less selfish. And Fatawu, look, you force him inside at your peril. If you force him inside, he'll take a shot. Out of 10, 6 of those will go into row Z. 4 of those will be 3 of those will be saved by the keeper, and 1 of them will be a worldie. And like I say, that goal is. I mean, just everybody else forget the goal of the season. It's there for Patson Daka. For Fatawu.
Yeah. Even as a Coventry fan, I was like flipping. Now that was some goal. It was obviously he hit it from a long distance away, but it was just the way he nicked the ball off, nutmegged somebody, and then booted it from about a million miles away. I was like flipping. That's some goal. Like
it is. Unfortunately, he does sometimes believe his own publicity. Look, we've got a Sky Blues fan in. Welcome along, mate. Glenn. Glenn is in. Cov haven't lost a local derby at home under Frank yet. Have you had many local derby? Who's local derby? That's with Birmingham, aren't they? I suppose.
Yeah, but I'm sure they don't count it. But Birmingham, West Brom, maybe.
Yeah. And he actually says there, would it be best for Leicester to sell Monga now? It's a very good point, and one that we talked about yesterday on our Fox's 4-1 show. And he's lost that impact because, like you said earlier, Mavididi, Fatawu, Monga, when they're on the pitch, they have 2 players on them. Mavididi brings it on himself because he had the ball the other week down the wing. He was doing that many step overs trying to get past one defender. By the time he'd finished, another defender had come back to join him, so he had 2 on him. Monga, I would like to see Monga in that number 10 position because I think he's wasted a bit on the wings, and he can do either wing, so he can either replace Mavididi or replace Fatawu, or vice versa if he starts. But he is, I think, more of an impact sub when your defender's maybe a little bit tired, or what have you.
16 years old.
Yeah, but if he's in that number 10 role, and you just say to him, go out and enjoy yourself, he will run ragged. And I think he'd get a couple of goals from there. It's a good question. I don't think we'd get his potential worth of money now because, like I say, he was 5 weeks he wasn't playing. The player that we saw at the start of the season is probably not the player that he is now. Like I said, we have to remember he can only train 3 times a week. You know, he has got school, homework, and things to do. But he will come good again. I think we would probably lose more if we sold him now than we would gain by selling him now. You know, we might get 20 million for him now, hold on to him. He's a potential 30, 40, 50 million pound player. And, you know, would he go, you know, would a Real Madrid or a Manchester City come in for him now? Because they were linked with him last year. I don't think so. But they might, depending on how the rest of his season goes, they might do. But, yeah, this, you know, he's another fantastic player. But when the team's not playing brilliantly, you can't always rely on these individual players, can you?
Yeah, I'm sure Glenn would agree. You should let Monga go home back to Coventry City, where he was born and bred.
Yeah, funnily enough, we you know we don't normally like ex Coventry City players, but we don't think of him as a Coventry lad.
And he moved quite early in his life, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we like to think of him as one of ours because he's come through the academy. You know, what I mean? But
I think he left us about 6 or something. He was very, very young. So yeah, yes. Unfortunately, we cannot claim him. I like to, but
would you? I mean, we're not going to do much business in this window, I don't think. I mean, we were 14 days in and we haven't done anything apart from let Wout Faes go. If we do anything, it will all be last minute. You've already made a couple of loan signings. See the sort of player you'd be saying to Frank, you know, it might be worth taking a punt on him. Have you got that sort of money?
20 mil, probably not, no. But I obviously, yeah, even if he's Leicester player, I'll snap your hand off for him. He's massive upside potential in his game. So, I'd absolutely love him to come in. We've signed Yang on loan. He's a Spurs player. He was at Pompey this season, at QPR last season. 19 years old. There's not a massive age difference there. Experience, raw, energy. So quite a similar sort of player. I think Yang probably maybe a little bit better defensively than Monga at the moment. But yeah, I personally, I would think it would be. Obviously, I'm sure Monga and Leicester will not allow this, but I would snap your hand off for him, because at the end of the day, he's massive. He's 16 years old, getting loads of attention. Eyes will be on him from all these big clubs, watching how he's doing and stuff. And I don't think they're going to be judging him here and now, because obviously Leicester aren't in a fantastic position at the moment, and the club is getting, not to put you guys down, but it's not a fantastic.
But what sort of money have you got to spend in this? We've got nothing. We don't know what's going to happen with PSR, but money-wise, you've got a couple of loans in. Have you got money? Okay, not longer, but to go out and buy.
Yeah, we have. So basically, our net spend this summer is negative. So our owner obviously brought our stadium this season as well, but he said that money's separate from transfers as well. And he's always said if there's a deal to be done, he'll get it done. So we tried to sign Carl Rushworth for about £5-6 million in the summer. They said no, we're not selling him at all. Obviously, that's why we got the loan as well. We tried to sign Charlie Hughes, which lowballed Hull to I think we went with 4 million originally, and it went up to about 10 million. But again, they wanted 15-20 million plus. Raksaki as well. We tried to sign him on deadline day. Deal didn't go through at all. So there is money there. Our owner, Doug King, he's a very good businessman. He's in a hedge fund, so he knows how to get deals done, etc. But he will pay the right price for a player. He will not go over for a player unless there's massive again, like if you get excuse me, if you get Monga for 10 million, 15 million, no brainer. You put that money in, because you know in a couple of years' time he's going to be worth easy money there. So there's definitely money there. To what extent, I don't know. But then the other side as well, I'm a bit sad. I did a bit of research on this. I'm presuming that we're going to go up. I hope we go up, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But what I did is over the last couple of years, I had a look at the teams that went up in first, second, and playoff. Who the 2 teams that got in playoffs and Coventry, what they did in this January window. Most of them get loans in. Maybe 1 signing, 2 signings. That's about it permanently. But it's predominantly loans. Or sometimes like Lefay last year, you got a loan with who's a very, very good player. So I'm more than happy and content with getting loans, because the players that we've got now, SA and Yang, if we did go up, they're not ready for the Premier League to be starting week in, week out. We probably haven't got the money to pay what they want as well, because they're both sort of highly regarded. So then we do that. We're linked to a Brentford centre midfield player on loan as well. We're linked to Dan Neil at Sunderland, whose contract's running out in the summer. Also, so that would be fairly cheap if it's permanent. So it looks like we're going down that route. And
it makes sense. It does make sense, because January window, it's very rare that you get you have to, well, look, if we come to you in January and said, we want to sign this player from you, you'll know, Leicester are desperate. If they need to bring a player in January, we'll add another couple of million on, and then you're buying a player who is not potentially worth, what you would have paid. It was worth what you would have paid, but you're asking a couple of million on top because the buying club is desperate. So loans, I think, are the best option as well in January. Talking of loans, actually, Ben's just said there, I'd take Jordan James off Leicester. I'm sure you would. He's not going anywhere. We've got him for the season, and we have got first dibs on him at the end of the season. Now, it all depends whether he wants still to come to Leicester, of course. That's the question.
That's where I've got a good friend who was desperately wants Jordan James, obviously fantastic player, but obviously the added bonus of taking him off Leicester as well. But I had to break his heart and tell him that you've got him on loan for the season. There's no recall, so unfortunately he can't be recalled and sold to anybody else. So I had to break his heart a little bit. I think he would have started him perfectly in the Coventry team. To be honest with you,
he went to France, wasn't it? Somewhere, Reims, I think it was. And he's not happy there. He hasn't settled. I mean, he did very well at Birmingham. He scored against us last time we were in this league. But he hasn't settled, hasn't been happy. He has been, when he first came, was spouting brilliantly about Leicester. He loves it here, and, it's quite local for him in the great scheme of things, as indeed would Coventry be. And we have got, I don't know if it's 5 million or what, but we've got, like I say, that first option to buy him, as long as he still wants to come to us. And that's the big question. He could turn us down. I don't know whether he would, because if I was him now, I'd be looking at it and going, all right, Leicester are in this dip at the moment. I mean, he's still young.
So he's 21, isn't he?
Sorry?
He's 21.
Something like that, I think. Yes.
Yeah. I was a little bit older than that, but yeah.
So he's still got the best years of his career ahead of him. But he can look at that and go, and no disrespect, but Coventry might come in for me. If I stay at Leicester, give it a couple of seasons and they turn things round, and I'm not saying we're going to win the league again or anything like that, but if we turn it round, then I may get a Premier League club, presuming you don't come in for me, a Tottenham or an Arsenal. So I think and he's a sensible lad. Why would he want to go to Coventry? That's the thing.
4 months and we'll be in the Premier League, hopefully.
I have a soft spot for Coventry. It's a swamp at the bottom of the garden. Anyway.
Are you guys expecting, obviously I know you're selling quite a few players just because there are massive contracts. Are you not expecting anybody to come in at all? I know you're looking at a striker, so are you looking at...
We need... There's desperate positions we need. Defence, we could do with a cover of a centre back. We've got Vestergaard back. He's still got another season left on his contract, so we're not going to go up this season. So for this season and next season, we're going to be in the Championship, and that's kind of his level. Left back, we need a left back. Thomas, like I said earlier, Marmite figure is either good or he's bad. Christensen, who's the other left back, isn't a lot better, but he's injured. Ricky P, we are desperate for a right back. He's going at the end of the season anyway. We need to get somebody in. Yes, Hamza Chowdhury can play that role, but we don't like it when he does. We've got a Luco, but again, we need cover. Central midfield, it's sorted as for me. We've got Sumare, who may be back. He's going at the end of the season, I believe. There's a lot of players that are going to be out of contract at the end of the season.
Blessing for you, the big contracts. Obviously, it's pain not getting a fee for them, but get rid of those big contracts.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Yes, we're not getting money, but we might not get any money for Winks, but we're saving 90 grand a week. But a striker has got to be the number one priority. You've got to say Daka probably won't go. I think he'll keep hold of Daka because he's got another year on his contract. So he's not, or is he? I think he, or is he out of contract?
I've seen links with him to Valencia, I think, as well. So maybe some links move him away.
Oh, I hope so. You know, let me book the Uber for him. I'm trying to think. Look, he's a lovely guy and he works so hard.
Yeah, unfortunately, football, being a nice guy doesn't really get you many fans. So
no, it doesn't. His contract expires. No, he finishes, so he could be off at the end of the season. Please don't give him another contract, John Rudkin. AU's contract expires at the end of the season as well. So we've got nobody up front apart from Bobby can do that role, or but you need somebody fast. Now we desperately need, but it will be a loan in this window.
All these transfer fees that you're collecting, obviously, appreciate Wout Fast was a loan with an option to buy. But these fees that you're getting, obviously, you've got that Moroccan midfield that's on loan as well, Bilal. With these fees, are you obviously in the parachute payments? Is that just to sort of pay debts and stuff off, or
we sold players in the summer worth between 50 and 80 million pound, depending what you read. I think it's more towards the top, adding all the payments up. So we got about 80 million in. We didn't buy or spend any money in the summer. We got a couple of free signings. We got 3 loan players. Ramsey, we're not talking about, but he's injured. Carranza, who's gone back to wherever he was from, America. So that was all PSR money. That was all there to help us out with PSR. Unfortunately, I don't think it clicks into the next year. PSR, it's all complicated. But yeah, that basically is it. The likes of El Canoes, we're going to, I think it's 50 odd million we're going to possibly get for, 25 million, I think it is for him. That won't come in until the end of the year because it's a loan with an option to buy. So, yeah, and what Leicester have done sensibly, for once, is the players that we got in, like with Jordan James, because we have too many JJs at Leicester. Jordan James is that if we are going to buy him, we don't do it till the end of the year. And that will then obviously go into the next round. So yeah, that's what we're going to. I think if we do anybody, it'll be.
Sounds like you need a massive. It'll be interesting summer for you guys because you're losing half a squad, which is not a bad thing. But again, it'll be exciting to sort of bring fresh blood in, and I personally think that's going to be a massive benefit for you. So you got new people that want to be at the club, and sort of.
The other thing as well is, in fairness, we don't necessarily want to bring too many players in. Excuse me, because it will stifle the growth of the youngsters coming through.
True. Yeah.
So it is a bit of a, but look, it's sensible that we are. Look, if we'd have taken Patson Daka on loan, we could have seen how shit he was and then sent him back at the end. But that's why I like loans, if you like. As long as the decent players. But let's round this up. Then I'm going to ask you that old question. What are you going to go score prediction?
I said this earlier on a different podcast. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to say 2-1 victory for the Coventry City FC. I think it'll be a tight game.
I think a City will win it. I'm probably on that.
Is City in blue as well?
Yeah, City in blue. That's very, very true. Although we will probably be in this colour tomorrow, Saturday. I mean. I'm scared. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm scared because you are like the bear at the moment. If we do actually go and score an early goal and go ahead, it'll be a bit like poking the bear. I think you'll come, and I'm worried about another 7-0 that you did out whoever it was you played that time. Yeah. If you gave me a draw now, and I said this last time, but if you gave me a draw now, I'd bite your hand off up to your elbow. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to actually agree with you. I think it'll be 2-1 Coventry over Leicester. I think,
I think a draw doesn't really do either team any good. Again, it's not. People are a bit saying to us, "Is it a must-win for us?" I don't think it's a must-win. I don't think there's any must-win games until sort of last part of the season, personally. But I think just because of the situations we are at the moment, I don't think a draw does either of us any good. So I think both teams will be trying to go for the win, but hopefully, Coventry City.
For us, it's not. It's all about. Yeah, we want to see a decent performance. We want to see the youngsters. We want to just get as many points as we can because of that PSR, possible points deduction, coming over the mountain. I mean, we're 13 points above Norwich in 22nd. So if we get 12, it drags us right into it. I mean, we've no idea. We've heard 6, we've heard 9, we've heard 12. Anything over 12, my God, we could really be in trouble. I just wish they'd let us know. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's January.
Can you have the hearing pre-Christmas?
December, yes.
December, yeah.
But, so what we had the hearing, and then the committee have now sent it to the Premier League. The Premier League, who can do it for both the EFL and themselves, but we were in the Premier League at the time, are considering it. I think the only thing I'm thinking of is at the moment is that we're trying to plead our case and say, look, we sold £80 million worth of players in the summer. We've got a lot of the big wage earners. Then Cody was on 75 a week. You know, we got rid of those big wage earners, or a fair few of them. Vardy left. We didn't offer him another contract. He wouldn't have taken it anyway. And I'm hoping that they'll say, like, in fairness, we can see you're trying. This isn't the sort of thing you can just do in one window. And they've got to look and say that we are, and hopefully they'll look at it and go, fair play, you're trying.
Yeah, I think I remember when Everton and Forest got their points deduction. I think they got a point back because they were cooperating. Yeah. Some of them, I can't remember the technicalities, but they got some.
The problem is though, we haven't cooperated last time.
Yeah, you are now.
Yeah, we are now, but they've got long memories, and last time we took them to court and we won. They ain't going to forget that. And of course, for whatever reason, and I've got to be careful what I say here for the lawyers. I've had a warning. Somebody at the club sat on the accounts last December, not 2025, 24. They sat on them and didn't send them in on time. So that could go against us as well. So
not helping your cause.
I remember when it used to be football, it used to be about what you did on the pitch.
Not anymore, my friend. It's all about the money.
Isn't it just?
We were talking about obviously Dan Neil. There's a few clubs interested in him. My answer is we're not going to win that deal just because we don't. Even if we're the best prospect on the table, which we're not, even if we are, because we don't pay the big money, not going to happen. People are getting excited about Gus Hamer coming back. Apparently he's available. We're not going to get him because we don't offer big wages, unfortunately. Even though he loves the club, even when he's got sold, he's come back on a weekly basis pretty much. Unfortunately, money rules the world and it definitely rules football.
It does, but you've got to look at clubs like Leicester and you have to say, do you want a club that is... I mean, whatever you say about Newcastle, and I know the Newcastle fans hated Mike Ashley, that club was never in financial worries. And when he sold it, that club, there was no PSR questions whatsoever. And if you want to live with the likes of Man City or Arsenal, when you get promoted, as we did, we sat at the top table, we won the trophy, we liked the food they were serving, and we went and spent big, and we took a chance, and it failed, and that's the thing. We have unfortunately can't sell the women's team to ourselves for 20 odd million as a certain Chelsea. Yes, exactly. Look, I don't wish you all the best on Saturday, obviously. It's an early kickoff, so I hope you're still in bed. But all rivalry aside, I do actually wish you all the best for the rest of the season. And I'd like to see, if you go up, you go up. There's no reason why I don't want you to go up. If you fall into the playoffs and lose in the final of the playoffs, I'm going to have a laugh with everybody else. But I do hope you have a good season.
I honestly say I always want Midlands clubs to do well. Obviously, I want Coventry at the top of the pecking order naturally, but I want Midlands team to do well, because you always see the North teams and the London teams doing well. It's always the Midland teams that are going up and down constantly. So hopefully we get promoted this season, then you're not too far behind us.
Well, can you imagine if we can get Coventry, Derby and Leicester up there and Forest stay up? That would be good, wouldn't it?
Forest, Villa, that'd be. But this is the thing. I always think we're dragging this show on a little bit. But imagine you get excited for the game this Saturday just because it's a local rivalry. Imagine having that in the Premier League. It would be amazing, and having that on an almost weekly basis. Phenomenal. It
would be. But like I say, I think you'll win on Saturday. I hope you don't, but good luck and for the rest of the season. Take care, mate. Your details are going across the bottom. It's the links in the description as to where you're from as well. Thanks to everybody that was in. I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care, buddy.
That's
Cheers.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.